6 powerful heroes that can help you climb to GM in Overwatch 2. Today, I'll be going over 2 heroes from each role. One that is more demanding mechanically, the other that is less demanding but still equally OP. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. It really helps the channel out. Let's go ahead and leap into our supports with our favorite musical frog, Lucio. Lucio is a super strong support in all elos. Not only is he meta and has been for the majority of Overwatch's history, minus a few metas, Lucio's movement makes him insanely difficult to kill, as well as able to get in and out quickly to either help his teammates or to secure frag kills. His passive ability is Wall Ride. It gives him a 30% buff speed, as well as allowing him to engage or disengage with tricky situations. This pairs well with his crossfade ability, which has an area of effect that allows him to switch rapidly between healing and speed boosting. Lucio's AoE crossfade healing is 16 per second, whereas his speed boost gives him a 25% movement increase. Amp It Up, another one of Lucio's abilities, can actually amplify his healing or speed boost crossfade. During the amp, Lucio's healing does 50 healing per second, and it gives a movement speed increase of 60%, both of which last for 3 seconds. All of these things, movement combined with healing, make Lucio a formidable threat. However, that isn't all of what makes our beloved little frog powerful. Lucio's armed with his sonic amplifier, a 4-round burst, 20-clip audio gun that dishes out a decent amount of damage. His gun also has Soundwave, aka Boop. Boop does 25 damage and can, well, for lack of a better word, boop enemies back and make space for his teammates. His ult is game-changing in teamfights to help low-health tanks and squishies stay alive. Beat is also super strong for engaging and pushing in with teammates, almost guaranteeing it to be a one fight. Tanks hate her, DPS fear her, Mercy mains love her. Moira. Moira is an incredibly strong support to climb to GM with in Overwatch 2. She's solid because of her duality to do a decent amount of damage and a ton of healing. She is easily able to slurp the enemy team of their HP with her Biotic Grasp and Biotic Orbs. With her right hand and Biotic Grasp, Moira can heal 70 HP per second. That then lingers 35 healing over 2 seconds. With her left hand, she can slurp 50 HP per second and heal herself. Her Biotic Orb does 50 damage per second and up to 200 damage in total. She can use it to pressure a flanking or solo DPS back, as well as use it to increase her chances of winning a duel by comboing it with her Biotic Grasp. Moira's Biotic Orb healing does around 65 healing per second and a total of 300 healing over time. She can use it to help out-of-range teammates, or use it to burst heal her team up close by comboing it with her Biotic Healing Grasp. Moira's Fade ability allows her to get out of tricky situations or to better position herself. Her ultimate, Coalescence, locks her into a Kamehameha beam-like animation that does 70 damage per second and 140 healing per second for a total of 8 seconds. It's great for keeping your tanks and squishies alive in dire situations, as well as being good for opening fights in chokes or long corridors. Main reason being you can heal your team and DPS Moira simultaneously. If you're enjoying the video, make sure to check out my Twitch, /KhaleesiBB, or follow the link in the description. Entering the DPS category, let's talk about Reaper. Reaper is a fantastic DPS to make your trek to GM with. Reaper is a reliable DPS because of his kit. Reaper's passive, the Reaping, allows Reaper to heal himself by dealing damage. In fact, 35% of all damage done. Reaper can deal damage in 3 ways: melee, his shotgun, and his ultimate, Death Blossom, all of which he can lifesteal. Reaper's shotguns do 108 damage per shot, with 8 rounds in total, allowing him to absolutely obliterate enemy tanks and 2-tap squishies at a close range. Reaper's ultimate, Death Blossom, makes him spin in a top, in which he does 170 damage per second, firing out in an 8-meter radius. He can leap into enemy teams, ult, and clear the area with ease. Reaper also has 2 movement abilities, Shadow Step and Wraith. Reaper's Shadow Step is essentially his teleport ability. He can TP up to 35 meters, and it takes about 2 seconds. This allows Reaper to strategically reposition himself wherever he needs to be, the backline perhaps, or maybe above the enemy team. Either way, this ability will keep your opponents on their toes, and require a medium amount of coordination to punish you for it. Reaper's Wraith also allows him to turn into a ghost version of himself, more or less, for about 3 seconds in total. This ability not only allows Reaper to dodge all damage in CC, but also works as a cleanse and gives him a 50% movement buff as well. This ability really secures why Reaper is such a great pick. He's able to do so much on his own and doesn't require much help from supports. Torb, our second pick and win to GM hero in this series. Let's start by dissecting Torb's kit. Torb's weapon, his rivet gun, has a primary and secondary fire. Torb's primary fire does 70 damage per shot and is an arcing projectile, whereas his secondary fire is a shotgun projectile. While slower and is better at a closer range, the secondary fire can do up to 125 damage. Both Torb's secondary and primary fire can headshot. He also has a melee weapon, his hammer, which does 55 damage to opponents and 50 healing to his beloved turret. Speaking of which, Torb's turret is actually what makes him such a goated pick for this trek to GM. Torb's turret has a health of 250 and does 56 damage per second. This might not seem like much, but you'd be surprised how much the enemy team decides to not shoot Torb's turret. His turret pumps consistent damage into the enemy team, making it extremely difficult when left unchecked. Spoiler alert, it usually is. Torbjorn's overload ability makes things very useful for him when he's in a pinch as well. For 5 seconds, it gives Torb up to 100 overheal and a 30% movement buff. His rate of fire is also increased on his primary, secondary, and melee weapons. Torbjorn's ultimate, Molten Core, does 25 damage upon impact and 160 damage per second. Torbjorn can launch little splooges of molten lava all over the map, stopping the enemy team dead in their tracks. Torb's ult lasts for 10 seconds, making it an excellent space maker. Jumping into tanks with this peanut butter addicted primate, the scientist gorilla Winston is our first tank of choice to climb to GM with. Winston's Tesla cannon is the thing that actually makes him an ideal candidate for this list. His cannon does 60 damage per second with an AoE tether effect of 6 meters. If the enemy team uses abilities to escape your grasp, no problem. Your Tesla cannon can shoot out little lightning bolts that do 50 damage at a 30-meter max range, pelting down squishies and low-health tanks. Winston's 700 HP projection barrier is also super useful when he uses his jump pack ability to engage. Winston's jump pack can launch him at great distances as well as do damage, but his bubble is what bails him out if he makes a mistake engaging with it. He can dance in and out of his bubble to avoid damage and farm opponents for his ultimate. Winston's ultimate, known as Primal Rage, turns our lovely, cuddly gorilla scientist into a King Kong-esque version of himself, jumping up to 1000 HP with a movement speed increase of 30%, all while backhanding the enemy team away with 40 damage per swing. His jump pack cooldown is also reduced to 2 instead of 5 during his ultimate. Winston's ability to make space and ease of aim is really what makes him a strong pick for your journey to GM. Saving the best for last, the best hero and tank you can climb to GM with in Overwatch 2 is Roadhog. Roadhog is famously known for his hook scrap gun combo. Roadhog's hook does 30 damage and has a max range of 20 meters. He uses it to stun and ensnare his victims to bring them face to face with his scrap gun. Roadhog's scrap gun primary fire is a shotgun spread and does 165 per shot, while his secondary also does 165 per shot. It's a pre-detonation spread. The one-shot combo on squishies and low-health tanks can be achieved by hook, shoot, melee. This combo alone, when achieved, makes Hog very frustrating to play against and powerful in ranked. Roadhog also has a self-heal of up to 350 HP, and it gives him a damage reduction of 50%, making it easier for him to self-sustain in fights and soak up tons of damage. Roadhog's ultimate, Whole Hog, does 4,928 damage in total throughout the duration of the ult, and 896 per second. Hog must use his primary fire to shoot ultimate bullets and can use his hook and self-heal during his ultimate. Whole Hog also has knockback at the rate of 14 meters per second. Roadhog can use his ult to wipe the enemy team or clear the area to secure points or checkpoints, thus making his ultimate actually pretty versatile. Roadhog is a hard carry in Overwatch 2 and a solid choice to play while grinding to Grandmaster. Hope you enjoyed learning about these 6 heroes to get to Grandmaster with in Overwatch 2. Remember to leave a like and subscribe. Check out the links in the description. Until next time, GG's.